are getting close.
Are you holding my camera properly? Swerve, girl.
Stop, both of you!
Yours will surely come.
Hi, Mom. My parents asked if their grandchildren could visit them for a week.
Here we are. This is where our mom grew up. I've wanted to spend time with you for so long.
Miss you guys!
Mom, we're having a great time.
I have not seen your Nana this happy in years. Bedtime here is 9:30. It's probably best you two shouldn't come out of your room after that. See you in the morning.
9:30?
9:30.
What is that? It's 10:47.
We think there's someone outside the door. What the hell was that?
It's time for Movie Month. It is my third annual Movie Month, in which I will be watching 30 movies in 30 days, and I'll either hate them or give them praise. I remember, I think it was it 99 when The Sixth Sense came out, and my fiance at the time and we weren't married yet, but we already had our house, and I think we rented it on DVD and really enjoyed it. I don't remember if we were spoiled on the ending. I don't think we were. I think the most surprising thing is that was Donnie Wahlberg. To this day, I didn't realize that. And I think I ended up watching the director's commentary on it and getting kind of really into the movie. I went to school for film for a little while, so I was kind of into that stuff. And, I was like really into someone who took the time to not just tell a story, but with the story that's happening, but visually, choices that are made, reasons for camera to be here, reasons for things to be a certain color. All that stuff fascinated me. And when he came out with the second movie, Unbreakable, that, I really, really enjoyed that movie. And to be honest with you, I think I've only seen it once, which is crazy how much I enjoyed it. I need to go back and revisit that movie one day. And I really enjoyed that twist ending. And then I think the next one was Signs. And again, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought the movie was fun, and scary, and, like a nice story about family with some real craziness going on around them. And there was not really a twist ending, maybe not quite a twist ending, but there was like a twist moment at the ending where you realized, that karma, I don't know if it's karma or something, but I still say Swing Away sometimes. And that's from that movie. And then The Village, I believe, was the next one. And I was excited to see that one. At this point, I was like, this guy makes cool movies. Some I like more than others, but this guy is making just interesting movies and movies that I'm excited to see. And he's becoming a name. He is becoming a name. And maybe after The Village, and The Village had its little twist, and I enjoyed it. That one, it was a little weird, but I thought the twist was kind of cool. And again, it's good acting, and it was a kind of a weird little story. But I was still into this guy. And I don't know if, maybe, I don't know when exactly he became like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It was like, wow, to, oh God, M. Night Shyamalan's still trying to make movies. And I think it happened with Lady in the Water, where it got terrible reviews. And unfortunately, for some reason, I've never seen it. I feel like I still want to, but I never did. And then he goes on to make, I don't know if it was After Earth first with Will Smith, which I felt like he was just a director for hire. And The Last Airbender, which was Avatar, based on a hit cartoon. And people just tore that to shreds, and they hated what he did with it. And I don't know if that was all him or is he a director for hire again. I don't know, but he just started becoming a guy who directs movies. Instead of, there's a new M. Night Shyamalan movie coming out. It used to be like, oh my goodness, there's a new M. Night Shyamalan movie coming out. And it would say from visionary director, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe that's Zack Snyder. But it would, it would use his name as a selling point for the movie. And at some point that stopped happening. And I don't know Why? Or I guess because the movies weren't doing as good. Oh, am I completely forgetting about the? Is it The Happening? That's the one where the trees were killing people or something, and Mark Wahlberg and nature was killing people. That I think might have been the one where people were started to give up on this guy. And again, I never saw that one. It's amazing that I saw his first 4 movies and really enjoyed them, and then the next 2 or 3, well, if you include the ones that he didn't write, and then that was it. I didn't see any more, and that changed today. Oh, why? You know, what was that whole long rant about? What am I getting to? That changed today because today, day 20 of Fans Not Experts Movie Month, I watched the 2015 horror suspense, quote unquote, found footage movie, The Visit, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. But guess what? It didn't really have his name above the title. It just came out with a creepy trailer. You realize it was one of those found footage movies, and that was it. And then I found out later that it was written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And I thought, are people going to tear this one to shreds? And if you look on Rotten Tomato, it's not certified fresh, but it's in the 60s, so people do like it. And I'm one of those people. I thought this movie was really cool. Now, the found footage trope, the found footage kind of genre, it's been way overdone. It's like looking for more excuses and more excuses as to why someone always has a camera. Now, this one kind of made sense, okay? It's 2 young people, like maybe young teenagers, I'm guessing, or tweens. The daughter, who's a teenager, and the son, who might be close to a teenager. Basically, they have a single mother who is not close with her grandparents. For 15 years, she hasn't talking to her parents, and she won't say what broke it all up, but she married a guy. She fell in love with a guy, married a guy, had 2 kids with a guy, and then the guy left her high and dry. And she's been raising her kids on her own. And finally, her parents looked her up, said, "We want to meet our grandchildren." And lo and behold, the kids get sent out to visit their grandparents for the week. Now, that's the setup for the movie. The daughter is like a little movie freak, a little documentary freak, and that's, of course, the excuse for there being a camera everywhere and for this being that type of movie. But in this, the way this movie's set up, it almost kind of works. Basically, she wants to do a documentary on meeting her grandparents for the first time and interviewing them and finding out everything she can about them and kind of discovering why her and her mother haven't spoken in all these years. Her mother's like, I don't really want to talk about it. If they want to talk about it, they can. That's up to them. But I don't want to. And they get sent off. They take a nice long bus ride, and you can see their mother outside, just nervous, just going to miss them. She's going on a trip herself with a boyfriend that she hasn't done a vacation in the longest time. She feels guilty doing it. But she lets the kids go, and the kids get off the train, and there's their grandparents with a big sign waiting for them, and take them home. And that's when all the weird stuff happens. The grandparents are super weird. And they, like the grandmother's like acts up at night, almost like she's like a weird, like almost like she's possessed at night. And the grandfather has weird social cues, has weird kind of interactions with people, and just lots of spooky, scary, creepy things that go on with these grandparents. And there's some setup in the movie that when you get to the end, you start realizing why these things were happening, and stories that happen and people that they interact with. You go back and you go, oh, that's why so-and-so was so-and-soing this. I don't want to, yes, it gives you the M. Night Shyamalan twist towards the end, which I 100% did not see coming. Totally was not spoiled on it. When I watched it, I totally went, oh, snap. I didn't quite say snap. But once that happened, it made me, once I saw the twist, it kind of freaked me out even more. I'm thinking, are they possessed? Is there aliens? I don't want to give anything away. It's just like, whoa. And you realize, you've still got to watch these kids and deal with their grandparents and how they're going to, get to the end of the week when their mom comes up. Because it's kind of funny. The kids, there's weirdness going on, but they're just kind of like, they're pretty well adjusted with like dealing with it. They're like, oh, it's just that they're old and a little senile, and grandma has a sickness that she has to deal with. There are some tense moments. It's only PG-13, so if you want to watch this with your kids, they will get spooked out. They might get scared if that's not a problem, but there's no sex or gore, or there's barely any language. There's some violence, but not too much. All in all, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I finally saw it, and I would tell people, check it out. It's kind of cool. I would recommend this movie. That's day 20, and that's The Visit. M. Night Shyamalan. I'm not going to say it's his best movie, but, I hope it means that he's coming back and doing these smaller movies that are kind of about families and creepy stuff happening around families, because he is still really good at it. He's got a good visual eye, even when it's supposed to be these kids holding the camera themselves. And it's always like, why is there a camera here? It doesn't matter, because that's just the excuse to get certain shots and certain angles, and why people might not be turning around because there's something weird behind them. It worked for me. It worked. 60-something% of people and critics on Rotten Tomatoes agree with me. I would watch this movie again. I would recommend this movie. I enjoy this movie. And really, what else is there to say? Except day 20 is in the books. Now, you may notice, if you've been listening, and, I know hundreds of you and millions of you have not been, but I am back home. There's no more gravel between my feet. Yesterday, after I recorded the podcast, we went for a nice walk. My wife and I ended up leaving our cousin's house out in upstate New York, and driving is a 3.5-hour drive back home that we do in 5 hours, because we stop a few times at the rest area, take our dog out, and take ourselves out. So it took about 5 hours. I came home immediately, went right back out grocery shopping, came back immediately, finally posted yesterday's episode. And right now, my wife wants to go for a walk. And you know what? It's 7:10. And I want to sit down and watch 3 hours of wrestling, because what 39-year-old man doesn't? So I have 50 minutes to do that. So I'm going to get out of here now. And I am going to go for a quick walk with my wife, and come home and then get this episode up. Who am I? My name is Mike. I run a website called fansnotexperts.com. Every June I watch 30 movies in 30 days. This is the first year that I've done a podcast for every day, and I've done 20 podcast episodes in a row, which I'm pretty excited about. Very little production. I just hit record and I go, and then I, kind of copy and paste it into a podcast episode. Bing, bang, boom. Work is done. You can find me on Twitter at Geek Mentality. You can find the website on Twitter at Fans Not Experts. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/fansnotexperts. And if you go into either of those sites, use the hashtag or search for the hashtag FNE Movie Month. You'll find all our posts there. You see every podcast I've done there. The podcast, Geek Mentality, if you're listening to us on SoundCloud, you can find all the episodes on the website, but you can also find them at soundcloud.com/FNE Movie Month and /FNE Movie Month 2. I have free services, so I only get 3 hours each. So there's probably going to be an FNE Movie Month 3 before the month is over. But you can find us there. You can find us at the website. You can find us on iTunes. Go to iTunes, okay? If you listen to me at all, if you like this at all, go to iTunes. I don't care if you give me 1 star. If you give me 5 stars, I will personally cook you a lobster dinner. That's a complete lie. I don't like lobster, and I don't know how to cook them. But I would love any review to try to help to get people. I don't have many subscribers, okay? I have very, very few. If one of you is listening to this right now and you kind of enjoy this, if you took a few minutes to leave me an iTunes review, I'd be very appreciative. And I would give you a shout out on the next episode, no doubt. Of course, I have no idea. I have to go to the website and see if anyone's ever given me a review. I know they haven't because there's just too few of you out there. But for you who are out there, thank you so much. iTunes review. We're also on Stitcher. We're on Google Play Music Podcasts. I know that so many people misuse that. Any place podcasts are found, you can find Geek Mentality and subscribe to us. Subscribe. Leave reviews. That's it. I'm done. 20 days are in the book. 10 days left. I'm 2/3 of the way done here. I only have 10 movies left to choose from. And I know what I want a few of those to be. I'm excited to watch a couple of these. We got to still have a couple documentaries left in there and a couple robot movies. And there might be a couple movies that, might have a mission in them that's impossible. I'm not sure. I might be doing some of those. I've only seen part 1, so, it gives me room to watch 4 movies. And then we're talking about time being done here. And there's also a movie out there that's, what the hell is it called? It's about 8 people who are hateful. I haven't seen that, and that may be one of the movies. Last year I watched Django Unchained. So there's lots of movies out there. I'm excited to see some of them. I'm excited to watch all of them. But most importantly, I'm excited to watch 10 more movies over the next 10 days and give you 10 more podcasts. The rambling is done. I need to go walk my dog, then watch some wrestling. So guess what? It's time to play my music.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans not experts.